Greetings, Internet. Welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This will be episode, I think it's 58. Maybe I should check the book. Episode 58 of Into the Woods by GMT Games, which is part of the Great Battles in American Civil War series, and it's the Battle of Shiloh, as you noted by all this stuff behind me. Episode 58. We're in the 9 a.m. turn, and I've got a few little errors. I can't really correct them because they're gone. And I've had to add some fatigue where I haven't added fatigue before for close combats. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but that it was pointed out by one of the very observant people that do watch this. The Union is in trouble at the present moment on either flank. And Sherman's division is nearly non-existent, and Prentice's division is nearly non-existent. And the Union troops that are trying to get forward, which will be done in one of the things of the video, we have a division that is moving forward. There's a bit of traffic congestion. Other units are in the way. And that's the beauty of the AM system, and also the downside of the AM system from a player's perspective, but not from a game perspective and a historical perspective, because traffic jams do occur. So let's go down the map and check out what is going on. Well, there's an overall picture of the situation. The Union, Sherman's division, I'm going to bring up the annotation and put that on there. Here we go. All right. So Sherman's division, which sort of is here. As I say, sort of, there's virtually nothing there. We do have one brigade of his here, which is now being engaged by Claiborne's brigade here. And that's it. Now, coming up in the rear for the Union, and what's actually happening here, we've got two divisions coming this way, but nothing coming this way at present because they're under defensive missions, which is denoted by the scenario, and they're conglomerating here and here, which is not helping the situation here. So let's get rid of that at the present moment in time. So if I move, yeah, that's the problem. Move the map up. The annotations stay where they are. So we have the Union 1st Division, part of which is here, and part of which is back here. But Sherman's 5th Division is virtually non-existent. Prentice's division, which is here, is, well, it's in the tatters. And we've got Wallace's and someone else's division who got Hurlbut to try and plug the gap. So it's leaning towards the Confederate at the moment, and they've still got units at the back here as well. What is happening in this episode? Well, we have the Union, Mr. Wallace, to move up and see where he gets to. So let's zoom in and see what he's about. As you can see, Mr. Wallace is right here in the center here. He has got 3 brigades. You've got Sweeney, Tuttle, and there's got to be one more somewhere. Hello. All right, so we got yellow, so that's Tuttle. Sweeney blue, there's got to be, there's the red one over here. MacArthur. There we go. Okay. Now they are all part of Wallace's division, but you can see there's quite a few other troops in his way. Each of these brigades has a little number on it. So Sweeney's got a little blue one on it. And that tells me roughly where, well, roughly, exactly, he's heading towards this position here.
However, there is quite a few guys in the way.
So they can't get onto the roads, so they're going to have to go and work their way through the woods. Also, MacArthur, now he's got a little out of command marker on him. He's had one activation. Wallace himself, if I bring up the Union, only has two activations. MacArthur's already had one. That means he can't activate this activation because he maximum of two. He was out of command. That means he only gets one. Tuttle, he can activate, and Sweeney, he can activate, and hopefully MacArthur next turn. There are also a few units that are marked out of command. That means they activate one less than their actual brigade does. So there's a little bit of command confusion. Again, look in here, out of command, out of command. So they can't activate because those two are part of Sweeney's brigade. Sweeney has had one activation. That means those guys have had one activation and can't activate again in this activation. God. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to keep track of. That's why I brought in those little activation markers, and maybe I should put those on the individual units, such forth. So anyway, so we're activating Mr. Wallace. It's his second and therefore last activation of this turn, and we're going to do one brigade at a time. I'm not going to activate the whole division at one step. So the one that's most forward is the yellow, which is Tuttle. Tuttle has got a one as this unit here was out of command, so he can't activate. So I'm just going to mark him as moved. Just to remind myself that he can't move this activation. Anyone else with Tuttle, so that's the ones with the yellow background. I'm just going to check to see how many actual units he should have in his command. Right, he has 4 regiments, and they look like they're all from Iowa. Let's just zoom in a little bit on them. Okay, so we have the 2nd, 14th, 12th, and the 7th Iowa Regiment. So that one we just marked. This one here is also marked out of command, so he can't move this activation either. So it's just these 2 regiments, and they've got to move. And Tuttle has got a little yellow one on him. Where's the little yellow one? That's orange. So they're moving down towards here. So you can see his Mr. Wallace's brigade, division, has got 2 locations to go to. And Tuttle has got to move to location towards 1. However, all these boys are sort of directly in the way. As best endeavors, let's move it. Now remember, it's 1.5 movement points through the woods. To move towards 1, it's down there. Yeah, they can't go through these guys. So 1.5, 3, 3.5, 4.5, 6. 1.5. Get out of the way, boys. 3, 4.5. And that's about it for them two. The other two can't move. Mr. Tuttle himself will want to keep, he's only got a command range of 4. He's not going to be able to keep all of those guys into command. So he needs to definitely keep get these 2. So next turn, they're in command. They're probably going to be out of command until he gets it all together. This artillery has been attached to him, hence the little yellow one as well, which corresponds to that yellow one, which corresponds to the other little yellow one. Might as well move the artillery up a bit. 3, 6, that's about it, really. Right, so that is Tuttle completed. And I will give him his second activation marker. Deleting that one there. So there's no point in him moving because he needs to keep those other 2 regiments. I mean, he's got a command range of 4. Okay, he could move a little bit. Could he? He moves to there. and then it's along this. This is a road or a track? No, it's a track, trail, or in this game, a farm lane. And it can move command range one along that. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. So keeping him just in command is putting these guys for next time way out of command. But that's the nature of this. Okay, so then Sweeney. Is he the next one? All right, Sweeney. Now he's got these three out of command, so they're not going to be able to activate. So again, I'm going to mark those as moved to remind myself. And you can see now part. Ooh, did I just delete a unit there? Come back. Of the Union problem. They've got problems at the front. They've now got problems in the rear that they can't get everyone to the front. This is quite a big regiment, isn't it? Brigade. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regiments in. What brigade is this? It's the 3rd Brigade. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regiments. Now they're going to number 1, which is down here towards the Larkin Bells field. Okay. So as fast as possible. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6. I should change his facing. No, wrong way. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6. Now again, where does he want to be? He needs to keep at least this guy in command for next time, because if he's in command, that puts them in command because they're directly adjacent. Okay, and he's got a command range of 5, and it's 1, 2, 3. So he might be able to keep, if he moves to there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, he might be able to keep the whole lot into command. All right. He needs also an activation 2 marker and the little blue one to remind me where he's going. Let's delete that. Okay, so that's Mr. Sweeney done. I've got a lot of advanced markers on here because that's what they're doing, isn't it? Right, and MacArthur can't activate at all because he was out of command himself. So that's him done. Now this cavalry, that was also it's not marked as out of command. And that he's got a little orange one. Oh, that's his. Got an OAC there. I should have probably marked him with an OAC as well. Did I just forget to do that? And out of command. There we go. All right. So that is Wallace done. Who's next? Well, let's have a look at the kit draw. Withers. Withers. All right. So I don't think Withers has had any activation so far this game. Turn? Nope, nothing in here. And he's got 2 because the 2 not in there. That was Bragg. Okay, so he must have lost one for. Oh, he's got an efficiency of -1, hence why there's only 2. One of his divisions had to be given a -1 marker. Okay. Now with us, we have Gladden, Jackson, Calmers. There's Mr. Withers. So, that's why he's got down 1. He himself was out of command. Hence why his divisions having 2 activations less. Right, they're still working their way through the fields here. think it's time to push forward a little bit. So we've got Khamas, Gladden, Jackson. Sort of shattered in between some abandoned artillery there. All right, well, we need to get them to at least along the line, pushing onto Wolf Field if possible. Right, let's do them one brigade at a time. Now, as this is Wither's first activation, why is Gladden marked with an A1? Because he was independently activated by Johnson. Um, which means that the A1 is on the counter. That means that it will still be able to get 3 activations from this unit, even though Withers himself has only got 2 possible. Okay, so we're going to start with Gladden's brigade. What to do? Well, there's some disorder amongst the units. We need to get across well, we're across the stream, but continue getting across. However, there is a Union unit here to engage, which I think might be worthwhile. This one, he's in good order, so let's move him to engage. He's on low ammo or depleted ammo, whichever way you want to look at it. So that's half. Sorry, 1.5, 3. 4.5, 1.5, 3, 4.5. Okay, so he's moving to engage the 49th Illinois. And gives him, should he use his muskets? We could do a charge. Because that means he will get a response back. Yeah, we're not going to fire there. He can still fire, though. And we're going to make that... Do I have a charge marker? Because he hasn't used his muskets. Oh, dear. Some corrections there. Under attack orders, you've got half movement rate. So they will only be able to get across to there. Right. Because, yeah, it's 1.5 for the woods, 1 for the river. Minimum move, effectively. Right, so this unit there, now, they're already sort of, they've only got 5 movement points. It's 1.5 to there, but they have to do the check for that stream. Okay, so they've failed. So second case disorder. That puts it back there, unmoved. Okay, this guy moving forward. Need to zoom in a little bit. A lot of terrain on the board. Okay, so he's going to move to there. Is he leaving a stream hex? He is. So he has to check. His round's 5. He's fine. Right, so that's 1.5. 3. That's as far as he can go. has he got? He's got some artillery here. All right. Was out of command. So it can activate now, but that'll be it done. Okay, so that's on a road. So that's one. Where do we want this artillery? Well, the rest of the brigade. So that's two, three. This terrain is absolutely awful. Crossing a gully. Archery is another two, three. 4, 5, 6 for the woods, 7, 8 for the gully. Okay. So, yeah, the only thing we didn't do is him firing. I was going to charge, wasn't I? They have fired, but with a lot of benefits. We might as well fire him in there when I missed it. So, okay, so muskets at that range is -1. Minus another 2 for the being out low ammo. It's -3. -1 for the woods, -4. -1 for firing through the woods, -5. Yeah, got it. You never know. 7 becomes a 2. That's 2 on the 6 to 8 column. It's D-1. So his morale is 6. So it's D-1, and then you got the +1 for the Union. At this time, so it's a straight 6. He passes. Okay, so no effect. Gladden himself, zoom out a little bit. We Withers is back here. Let's get him to near the path. There we go. Get as much of his men as possible in command. Probably there then. That wasn't a brilliant activation, was it? No. Okay. Calmers. Chalmer. All right. He's got, by the looks of it, 4 regiments. Okay. Crossing the stream. They are under advance orders, so let's keep them under advance orders. No need to change. So that's going to be 1, 2.5. Up there. 2.5 plus 1.5 is 4. +1 for the stream, 5. Is it +1 for the stream? Yeah, that's 5 to there. That's not going to move any further. Okay. That's a gully plus a stream plus a wood. So it's 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 5. Again, 1.5 for the woods, 2.5, 3.5, 5. Ecstatically fast movement here, boys. 1, 2, 3, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5. You can't afford it. You'll have to go there. And that's Chalmers moved. Right, I need to mark these showing that it's their first activation. Gladden's is actually his second. So let's delete that and give him an A2. All right. Anyone else of that brigade? No, that's Chalmers done then. Actually, his artillery's back here. It might as well move forward now on that road. Artillery moving along a road. It's half or 1. One. That'd be one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh, there's a regiment under that. Okay, hold on that. Well, he could be down the road. How many increments has he got? He's got eight. Let's move that one back. So the artillery's moved five. Now the infantry moving along the road. Okay, so he can move in road order. One. That's one, two, three, four, five. And because he's got more than six increments, oh, I'll double check it again. Seven increments. Imagine what you forget. That's strange. All right, I have to put him into two hexes so he can use the full, and that costs him a movement point to do so. So let me just find the right extended column. There it is. I'll just change that facing like that. Oh, so it fits with that unit there. Okay, so that's that brigade. Chalmers brigade finished with its A1 marker. Right. That then leaves us Jackson's brigade, which is at the back here. They might as well move forward now, especially the artillery. We'll get as many guns as we can across there. So one, two, three, four. Bit of a traffic jam. One and a half, three, four and a half. They're going to get into road order at that point. One and a half, three, four and a half. They might as well go into road order as well. One and a half, three, four and a half. So will they. Mr. Jackson himself. Not the Mr. Jackson, though. This is another Jackson. All right. Is that all of his units? Looks like it. I might as well move his cavalry forward as well. Actually, we won't move his cavalry. They're out of command. So we won't use them this activation. Next activation, they'll be able to move. We're not marking them with an A1. Jackson will now mark with an A1. Mr. Withers himself. I think we'll get him across here. And maybe we can get Jackson up further around this area on their next activation. I think that's them done. Yeah, yeah. Who'll be next? Let's flip it. It's a battle event. Okay, we're going to see who it affects. So I've got my little chart and table. We have a 53 score, which is USA mistaken fire. And it's got a little star next to it. All right, so for USA mistaken fire, the Confederate player chooses the affected US unit. Right, let's go through. All right, so the player designated by the battle chart selects the firing unit and enemy infantry unit within 3 hexes. Oh, they love their verbiage. Hold on there. Okay, so the CSA part of me Now choose a Union unit within 3 hexes of one of my units. The chosen unit to fire must have a line of sight to the target, and the target must be within the firing unit's arc. Treat the shot normally. Okay. So what we're looking for is a Union unit that's within 3 hexes of my unit, which has got another one of its own guys in its line of sight. Well, that ain't going to apply around here. Or to be honest, around here. No, because my guys aren't close enough. But the Union have run away faster than I can no, I, as the Union player, have run away faster than I, as a Confederate player, have been unable to catch up. So the end result, 1, 2, 3. It says 3 hexes. 1, 2. There is no Confederate. So, um, in other words, no event. The Union got away with that one. Let's move that to the side there. Right, let's draw the next chit and see what's going on. The Union one, blip. Unassigned. I think we've got a few of those floating around. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Unassigned. Okay, that's primarily some artillery at the back here. These guns. We're just trying to get them to the front. Probably the best part of the front to get them to would be in and around where Sherman and what's he called? McClellan. They need artillery over there. That's where they've been heading to. So, the road network don't really help this area, does it? So, moving along the trail. We calling them trails, but not correct term. Hey, farm lanes, they are 1.5 each. 1.5, 3. This is half other terrain in hex. 4.5. It's too rugged. 6. Is that right for the artillery? This half other terrain in hex, minimum of 1 movement point. What about going down these slopes? I don't think it does negate them. Okay, it does negate them. So 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6. I don't know. No, I wasn't comfortable with that. That's not right. And I double checked. No, it's not. So let's put that back there. Moving through that road or farm lane. Well, it's not a marsh, but farm lanes. Units moving along farm lanes use a series trail ruse and not subject to disorder from terrain. Exceptions. Yeah, the exceptions are the exceptions. So artillery using farm lanes to cross steep slope use the cavalry costs of that hex side and automatically disorder. So steep slopes. That's when there's multiple. So that there has got 1, 2 levels. So that's a steep slope. So there's no point in going that way. This is like just absolutely awful. Okay. So they're going to send a little scoutmaster ahead and say, go those trail farm lanes isn't helping. Right. Artillery through this woods is 1.5. No, it's not. It's more than that. It's 3. So it's 1.5 per road. Absolutely awful terrain. Okay, 1.5, 3, 4.5. Yeah, I've got to change the facing. 6. Cavalry's in the way now. Is that the right way to go? No. The cavalry's sitting on the road in the way. Uh, I don't know. Okay. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 5, 6, 7.5. Getting a little bit frustrating, I'm afraid. Yeah. Because look at that. That's 2 slopes in there. So that is steep, down steep, down steep slope. It's not even permitted for artillery. Though along the trail, farm lane, it would be. But there's a chance of it disordering. Yeah, automatically disorder. Okay. So to get under there is 3. Treated as cavalry. Movement costs. Down steep slope, I see, is +3. So that is going to be 3 so far. So I can't even do it. +3. No, that's as far as it goes. Because that would be, because going down, which into that hex there would normally be, is another 3. I know, wait a minute, hold on. It's not, it's plus, normal artillery cost is 1.5 for the road. +3, so it's 4.5. Oh, I'm confusing myself now. I'm going around in circles. I had to pause there. It's a total of 4.5 to go down there. So you can go down there and then disorders. Blimey. And I think I did him last time, not really taking notice of the gully. So I'm going to move him 2 back and disordering him. Wow. Is there anything else I want to move? Um, I forgot some of Wallace's artillery. That hasn't been assigned, so that should have moved. Okay. We're not crossing any gullies here. It's all on roads, isn't it? So there we go. Yeah, I missed them. They were definitely in command, so they should have moved. That's fine. I haven't assigned them to individual units, so they move when the divisional commander moves. I think that's the only 2 independents. Man, that done my head. It done my head. Yeah, it really did. Sorry, guys. Right, let's bring the next chit. See if it's a quickie or if it's going to take a bit of time. McLennan. I think he's going to take a bit of time because he's got to hold the line. So yeah, that's going to be Hare and Marsh. Is there only the 2 brigades? Double check. He's the 1st division. 1st brigade. So apparently there's a 3rd. Oh, race. Race has already been kicked about. That's the last part of race. So he's already down a brigade. They got savaged. So yeah. All right, I'm going to bring this back up to the top. Sorry about some of that with the movement. It was just starting to do my head in. Um, so, the arterial, the trails, and there's a lot to take in. And I mean, this is it's like the 58th episode, and I'm still struggling with the terrain. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do about that. Um, it's it's a little bit demoralizing to have gone, so far. We're in the ninth AM turn, 58 episodes in, and my brain still cannot grasp the track. And imagine if I was looking at this from a distance, you would need one of these if you can't even see it. Magnifying glass, there it is. You need one of these to be able to play this game on the map and all those counters on it. Please, designers and developers, tell me how you've done it because I don't think I could. Without the zoom up on Vassal, I don't think it's humanly possible unless your eyesight is perfect because these hexes aren't that big. It's maps covered in units, how you're to be able to tell what the terrain is. I'm struggling with this nearly on maximum zoom and not having to lean 3 foot across a table to do it. Slight whinge. Because the whinge is there because I'm trying to get it right and it's so difficult and I think I still made mistakes. And if I did, put it in the comments. Um, I know on the previous episode I missed a gully which gave the Confederates a bit more movement. Um, Trying not to do that. But again, it's just so congested. And I can clear all the units out the way and I'm still looking at it and thinking, what is it? What am I moving into? How am I moving into it? Not much action in this video. A lot of movement. There was going to be an assault. Did that wrong, but we took that back. So, yeah. Let's move on to McLaren. He's going to form a line. That'll be in the next video. I hope you enjoyed. That was a little bit of frustration from my part. You could see I was getting a bit frustrated there. Um, Tried not to bring that too much into the video, but I think in a way, sometimes it needs to be shown that that's what some of these games, and maybe the designers can make it, yeah, the terrain is awful. Um, and okay, they've gone for the accuracy as much as possible, but it doesn't make it for that flowing a game in that regard. I mean, I say, don't get me wrong, I am thoroughly enjoying the game. I'm just getting a little frustrated with that. Even after so long, I still don't get the terrain completely. Otherwise, play games, have fun. Give me the likes if you can. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And again, as many comments as possible to get me over some, maybe a little bit of terrain hump that I've got myself into. Bye for now.